Hey, what's up guys, this is Monkey Business. Before we start, let me update you on the Phantom Red Team video. So my video for the Red Team I used was good up until Phantom 6 or 7. Cause I think, I was able to auto 6, but I had to manual 7. So it was a little bit of a letdown from 8 to 10. But I realized that most of them were still 4 stars at level 40. And not all of them was ascended to the maximum that they could. And the gear stuff I put on them wasn't the most valuable, so I feel like if I would have did all of 50 tier 5s and put proper gear on them, they can most likely survive till 8 or 9. I don't think 10, unless you want to make them all tier 6s with tier 5 gear. No, that'd be a little different. But that video will come out later. I didn't have enough material to upgrade them, and I didn't have no gold to make the gear. The game don't really give me free stuff for this, which I'm not mad, I'm not complaining. It's just stuff for builds and stuff will take time, and I have to recycle gear most of the time. So that will be for a later date, and I'll work on that later. But in this video, we're going to talk about the potion dungeon guide. So for today, I'm going to be showing you guys the guides on where's the dungeon, on the wisdom dungeon, the courage dungeon. Those are two I have open, and I'll just give you some general guides for the rest of them, just to give you some help on that part. So let's go start with the first session. It will be the courage dungeon, and I'll see you there. Bye bye. Alright guys, so in the first one we're going to talk about the courage dungeon. Now we all know what the courage dungeon is. In this one you get your you get the lesser courage potions, then you get your greater courage potions, and then you get the big old superior courage potions. Why is that such a big space? I'm going to mind my business. So I already beat this on 20 as of a couple weeks ago. So I'm gonna just show you my auto team that I use, just so I can auto and not really focus on it that much. Now this team does not 100% always auto the way I want them to, and sometimes I have to intervene to prevent a super long game. And it can be very challenging and annoying, but I got a team that's really part down that I can do a lot with. Now the reason why this team works so well is because Cairo on the right side of Red Hook. Let me introduce everybody actually. So this is Cairo. The reason I'm using Cairo is because he has the hidden buff. And the hidden buff, you take 50% less damage from non-adjacent positions. Now along with that, to help with the AoEs from the boss over here, I got Red Hook, who can use hook and the knee. Basically it make all the target skills on cooldown, which is kind of good to work on him if he's annoying with AoE damage or anything else, because he do a lot of damage regardless. Some shock, stun, 16k, it's very annoying. And then his henchmen can also do a whole lot of damage themselves as well, so I try and kill them fast that I can. So usually I'll use, like I said, Cairo for hidden. I use him to wear down the cooldowns, and then I use Marlo to heal my entire team back to full health. And then you know why I use Gwen and Sheila. These are my two main farming heroes that I farm with, because they both got death streak, and they both are strong enough to farm. Now, what's the whole plan with the dungeon and why did I use it? As you see in the beginning, Sheila and Gwen had almost killed both of the henchmen off their combos because of the Gwen fire at will, and due to the Aquila ultimate, the volley barrage, which is fantastic. So we're gonna put it back on auto. So essentially the whole idea of this build is to make sure that my team take the least amount of damage. So if you add that negative 50% damage reduction from non-adjacent enemies. Hold on, why is Cairo in front and not a protector? This is why I don't like to auto. He should not be in front. My protector should be in front. Thank you. And see, this is what happens. So essentially, I use Cairo to take half the damage away, and then I use Marlo to keep me healed up, and then I also use Red Hook because if you're adjacent to him, you cannot be attacked adjacently regardless. So you won't be attacked, so that also can help with your defense. Most of these potion dungeon enemies are mostly AoE, and that's what makes them very annoying and hard to deal with. So bringing Cairo and bringing a hero that can give you some protection. For example, if you're next to Red Hook, you get the range protection, can't be directly targeted by non-adjacent attacks. Now the only issue with this, if it's a mass AoE from a boss, then you will still be hit by that. But if it's a long range attack, then you can't be targeted by that, which is awesome. Then they'll be forced to use their physical attack. Now one thing I hate about this is on auto is that the bots, not about the heroes, have a priority. So do the bosses as well. They should have been brought by Achilles to push him in the corner. Hold on, This is what I mean by I have to intervene sometimes. Well, he's dead. I've been going to push him in the corner so for Red Hook to trap him so he can't go nowhere. Now, while you're doing fort level 20, you will always get either a superior courage potion or you will get a greater potion. Now, I know I told you guys it's a full auto team, but I did manual to show you some mistakes. But trust me, they can auto. They can auto. I'm already been doing it for a while. Now, that is the courage fort. Now, if you need any more guides, the end game has its own guide. Is it a bug? Hold on. Is it bugged out? Oh yeah, that's definitely bugged out. Okay, so this one is working. This one's not. I will tell the devs about this one unless I restart and it works. But it's supposed to be a guy here. I think because it's a Courage Guardian dungeon where it don't take no damage from nobody that much. They don't have anything really particular to put. But normally for this one, you just want to bring you a good, decent healer. For some other substitutes, if you don't have the same heroes I have, of course, I made a tag just for the ones here. So these can be some suffice replacements. If you need a tank, you can get either Pancake. She can give shields every turn, and then she can also let me go back. She can also give rain protection, and she can also give hidden to all allies for 2 turns. So this could be another person you use for hidden. You can bring her and Cairo if you want one to use hidden and the other one to use it later on to keep the flow going. You can really go any other way with that. The second protector I recommend is the King Guard. Only because of 2 things. 1, he's a protector, and 2, he has an ally protection which gives 1 random ally for 3 turns and restore 50% of this at the max HP to this actor. Therefore, if I put this on you, you will get healed for that amount of HP of that max. This is a good tank. He also gives a good defense skill. Now, Sword Fury isn't that much of a good skill, but it's just something there to help, including trying to fight adjacent enemies, which can help a lot. And that's the base attack. The main reason you will use him is because, for one, a rare is easier to rank up in talents, and including that, they can be way more versatile when you upgrade them. Now for healers, you can go with Patch Pelt, which he is essentially the same as Silver Shaman, just really a different race, and that's it. He can still revive. He can still also restore your max HP to adjacent allies. He can also block debuffs, and he can give increased defense. He's basically Silver Shaman, but he's just a goblin. You can also use Parent for the defense increase and the heals, and you can also use Slime Rancer as another tank, and the slimes can help as a decoy as well. For any other healer, you can use Dark Faith or Staff Sage. Staff Sage and Dark Faith isn't bad. I would prefer Staff Sage, but I use Dark Faith most of the time. For damage, you can use Thunder Axe. He's good for long range. Maul's for her high levels and her minions, but you will need to level her up a little bit. Then Rhonda is also good for that. I did not change Rhonda in the wild, so this is very subjective. So that is it for the Courage Dungeon. If you have any more questions about it, please let me know in the comments down below. And thank you very much. I'm gonna go ahead and move on to the Wisdom Dungeon. Thank you. Alright guys, in this one we're going to talk about the Wisdom Dungeon. Now before I start, one thing you have to know is that the class advantage plays a huge role here. Once again, just like the Courage Dungeon, I got this maxed out and I can solo and auto. On this one, I'm not going to immediately auto, I'm going to just tell you my team and why I have them. Now, of course, this team will be a little more different. This time I got 2 healers, Reviver, defense increase with Cairo, Slime Rancer, and Gwen. Of course, I got Silver Shaman and Marlowe here for 2 things. Marlowe for his max heal and revive, and Silver Shaman for his increased defense right here for 3 turns and his revive. And including Cairo for his max, his hidden buff for the negative 50% damage received by attacks from non-adjacent positions. Now he can also use his Battle Spirit to increase some attack and to reset a random skill cooldown. So that is kind of awesome. Now I'm using Slime Rancer as more of a defense mechanism for attack and to be a tank, because the slimes do carry a lot in here. Now of course I got Gwen here just for some mass damage to take down the fodder and to take down the boss. Alright, let's go ahead and start. Now you may be thinking, why don't I have a proper protector in here like Red Hook or anybody else? Because I don't necessarily need them in this dungeon, and I would rather get more force heroes in here if I can, just so that they can take less damage, which is 20%, and give 20% more damage to the enemies. So That's just something I'd rather do. Now, Red Hook is a wisdom hero, I believe. I gotta go double check. I might be lying. But it's my team for now. So basically, how this go? They'll put hidden buff on. As you can see, he used the hidden buff and it did not kill him. Oh man, I hate when they heal like this. They heal like this and they go up and teleport like she won't die now. This is one reason why I don't really like to record my autos, because it really makes me look bad sometimes, because they would do perfectly for 10, 15, 20 games. And then do horrible down the line. But normally I just let this auto if I'm doing any studying or anything along the lines. But with this Wisdom level 20 dungeon, the boss is tanky and the team is trying to get him down. But Marla is on the bottom there taking all those hits for no reason. Now usually at this time I will stop the auto if I see stuff happening like this, and then I will make Gwen and the slime double team the henchmen on the bottom to take them out fully. But right now they're doing a good job and I'm really surprised. They don't normally do this good. So I'm gonna just let this play out so you guys can really see what's going on. Like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. In the comments below. Well, it's almost done. Nice. You see how he do that big AoE? And if you think about it, I don't want to stop the battle. I want to be a full auto. So one thing that I try my best to do with the Silver Shaman, I tried to have him use his increased defense about 1 or 2 turns after Cairo uses his hidden, because if you combine them, then you're doing a increase of 80% less damage taken, since damage is just flat damage now instead of resistance from a long time ago. So that is good, and they always do that in that order. And around that time, the boss barely do any damage. Is he a he is wisdom. So technically I could use Red Hook, but this would take a lot from my Slime Master, because he does help with damage and help with the clear. So I think I'm gonna keep the team I have now. Now for a small introduction. Oh no, I gotta show you the substitutes I made up. Here we go. Now once again, this is the Wisdom Dungeon, so I have mostly Force Heroes, so you can get that 20% less damage taken and that 20% more damage, and that does stack with the negative 50% damage adjacently and with that defense, so there's even a better stack for it. Now for this one, for any defenders, you may see these two here. These two are new heroes. I'm still experimenting with them. The reason I brought them here without testing is because one, Gunhead is a enforcer, and Elise, I don't know their names by heart, so Lisa is a protector. I'm really eager to try Elise. She got some great defense skills and some reflect damage with some ally protection and some decreased defense. She'll be a good tank support. And she really just got the aggressive barbarian look, like pan down, you finna fight me, melee instinct, and then deal 1,000 damage. I do want to get her worked up. Okay, but if you do want to, if you don't have the heroes I have, you can substitute any of your healers for either Book Snatch or Patch Pelt, preferably Patch Pelt. He can revive and he can increase defense just like Silver Shaman. Silver Shaman just better than me. I didn't do no tests technically, but I do plan to increase Patch Pelt. I just never had a chance to because I use Silver Shaman. Now Book Snatch is a weaker healer, but he just got more options to heal, as you can see. But he's not the best, but he can still help you in the dungeon. Curse Shaman may seem weak, but his adjacent heal and his AoE is valuable in that dungeon. Now you can also bring in Kingsguard's Protector. He got out of protection. You can bring in a Ranger or Driss. They're basically the same to me, but Driss got a 3-hit skill that I really do like, which is right here. He can also do decreased defense. If you team him up with, is it her? Yes, Elisa, with her decreased defense and his, then you can do you can do shadow defense on the boss. If you do that, you're going to do a lot more damage, especially since you're a Force Hero. So you'll be doing 75% more damage, and you'll be doing 20% more damage because you're a Force Hero, which is very valuable. If you bring Driss and the Ranger with Elise, then that'll be even better. Tarzan is a very good tank. He is very good at crowd control and separating the enemies from each other. You can also bring the Slime Master, as I said before. Pancake is still valuable on the list with the shields. Staff Sage, Dark Faith, Moss, and Rhonda for the last one. Now this was the Wisdom one. Now let me show you. I can't really show you, but now for Faith, Force, and Velour. I'm gonna start with Velour. Velour, you can really just use any heroes in there that you prefer. I just use my most tanky heroes that I can, my most damaging heroes. It really don't matter to me and my healers. Now, if you're facing a Force and a Faith team, I believe with Force they are weak against Faith, or they're strong against Faith. I gotta go. Hold on, let me go back. Right, Faith heroes are strong against Force. So if you want to do the Force dungeon, then it's better if you bring some Faith heroes to try and alleviate some of that damage and some of that tankiness. Now, most of the time, I forgot which team I bring, but I'm pretty sure it got something to do with either them or my Velour heroes. I'm gonna be honest. I don't think the Velour dungeon does a lot of damage, but I will have to do it again to be for sure. Now also you have to also look out for, go back to the dungeon. Yes, Faith. Now the Faith dungeon really isn't that bad. You just really have to run a lot of your Wisdom heroes in that dungeon in order to get that dungeon done. Now I do got some quality Wisdom heroes. I know Time to Follow is part of that team. Other than that, for the Faith dungeon, use Wisdom heroes. For the Wisdom dungeon, try and use Force heroes. For the Force dungeon, use Faith heroes. For the Velour dungeon, you can really use just any heroes that you can. In conclusion of this video, you can really use any type of pattern of team that you can to try and win, especially if you have it on auto. It don't really matter what you use, as long as they're strong enough to keep going. Also, if you use a most rare team, they are the... Sorry about that, my screen timed out. Did not mean to do that. So essentially, you can really bring any hero you want in any dungeon, but just be mindful, if you're bringing an opposite class, you will take 20% more damage and you will do 20% less damage. That's just how the dungeons are. Now, always bring the strength approach to it. So if you have the advantage, then bring that hero instead. Other than that, that was the video. Thank you for watching. My next few videos might be the update video in the middle of this month, and I might do a hero build or two. I'm not really for sure yet, but I do got a lot of ideas I already got jotted down. So on that note, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thank you for joining Discord. Bye bye.